It's always hard to take over from someone else. The first thing I asked when I entered it was, okay, so how long is my speak? And I guess it's not 15 minutes anymore. My name is David. I work as a nurse and a researcher at Södersjukhuset in Stockholm. Involved in a lot of health issues, or actually just one. It's death. Not death as a phenomena, because death is actually not a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. It's natural. It's a sexual transmitted disease. That is life, and death is, well, the end of it. But unnatural death is a problem. I'm dealing with sudden cardiac arrest. Actually, this figure is 12 years old now. The light blue piece of this pie is sudden cardiac death. Causes about 300 unfortunate deaths in US, and almost 250 in Europe in whole. And then we have AIDS, huge problem, 16,000 deaths. Breast cancer, huge problem, 40,000 deaths. Lung cancer, huge problem, 157,000 deaths a year. And that is in US 12 years ago. And the thing is, what you think about when you think about health problems, it's usually something that can be cured, I think. It's overweight. It's AIDS. Well, can't be cured, but it can be slowed down. And I guess if we slow it down enough, we can cure it. It's cancer. You can get surgery. You can get treatment. Perhaps you can improve your health before you get ill, so you don't get ill, and that's sort of a treatment. But how about death? It sort of ends everything because of life. It's something that we have to deal with, but not the unnecessary death. Your heart is, well, not as cool as the brain, I think, but it's just there. It's working all the time. You don't have to think about it. It just ticks on. I was just told this Tuesday that it's from the 12th week as a uterus, or a part of the uterus, as a fetal thing, you have a ticking of electrons. That is the heart. It starts after 12 weeks. And it stops after, I don't know, 120 years, if we're lucky. But if it stops before that, perhaps we can sort of restart it. But if we don't do that quick enough, we'll suffer from brain damage. We won't survive. If you have a sudden cardiac arrest, you have about 5 minutes. That is the time frame. And if you don't do anything, you will die. And if you do something, and it sort of happens after the 5 or 6 minutes, you're not going to be as functional as we are today. Survival decreased by time. Some say 10%, some say 7%. Every minute without heart function sort of decreases your survival. And this is a problem, and it's a problem that can be solved. And what we've been dealing with at Södersjukhuset is sort of a way of thinking how we can use technology. It's about 9 years ago, a professor at our cardiology department, he was on a bus going to work quite early in the morning, and there is something bothering the bus driver. So he's not leaving the bus stand. And it's a massive stress building up in the bus. It's always a problem. Well, it's rush hour and everyone wants to go from point A to point B, and the bus driver won't leave. So he gets off the bus and does something, and no one really cares. They're sort of and flapping with the metros. And he gets on again, and the bus drives off, and an ambulance screeches in behind, and there's a lady lying down next to the bus. Later on, it shows that she had a cardiac arrest. On the bus was several healthcare professionals. One of them is a professor in cardiology. Most certainly he could do something to save a person's life, if he was aware of it. If he knew that his skills was needed somewhere else, if he could do something to sort of change what's happening. So what we've come up with is sort of a low-tech idea. If someone calls 911 or 112 here in Sweden, the emergency dispatch center, they always put in X and Y coordinates to locate where the emergency is. This is a sort of a tracker for the ambulance. Okay, that's okay. So the ambulance starts off, they're driving as fast as they can. It's rush hour always, so they're quite slow. It takes about 8 to 9 minutes to get to where we want them to be. And the idea that was born on that bus this morning was that couldn't we use cell phone technology? And this was 8 to 9 years ago. Cell phone technology was not smartphones. That was cell phones. That was for calling, that was for text messaging, and sort of something that was called WAP. You remember that? That was internet on a phone. You couldn't really do that much with it. But we had an idea, and we sort of tried to get that idea to someone. So we approached several companies, and they said, great idea. But really, why would someone try to locate a cell phone? It's no business in it. You can do it, sure, but it's costly. And who would like to do it? In 2010, we started a project here in Stockholm that's called SMS Livräddare, SMS Lifesavers. What we do is we create a circle around where in this type it's a cardiac arrest. We look for volunteers. They voluntarily enter the cell phone numbers in our database, and we ask, where are our volunteers? And if they are close enough, 500 meters, we use a radius of 500 meters, they get a text message with the address, geographic locations, and we want them to get there to give the guy on the ground with the suffering from a cardiac arrest a head start. You don't have to wait 8-9 minutes for the ambulance. That gives you like 20 to 10% survival chance. This gives us a head start. They get a text message, and now, thanks to technology and smartphones, you have a way of putting in a Google Map link or any map link, and you get a view of where you are. Because that is something with technology, I think. These days, where are you? I'll just check. And it's not around you, it's somewhere in your groin section. It's okay. I remembered someone getting lost on the way here to one of the highest buildings in Kista. It's sort of about looking down. It's a great idea. It's great if you use it for something good. But technology sometimes sort of blinds us. I don't have to know my way because I can always find my way. But in this time, it's a good thing because we can use the map. We did a study result, a small pilot, 92 alerts, and in 45% of these, we were on scene before the ambulance. One or more of our volunteers were on scene, able to give the guy on the ground life-saving, something to start with. Not all of these were cardiac arrest, but it was a sort of good thing to have a fellow man next to you if you were drunk, or if you tripped, or if you were dead. It's always good to have company. And this sort of brings something up. It's called public access defibrillation. Defibrillators, hjärtstartare, it's spreading all over the world, the Western world, I guess. We put them up in hotel lobbies. There is one downstairs, 23 stories down. But how do we know that it is there? If you recognize the signs, if you're aware of it, as I am, because I work with it, I recognize it, I look for it. But you don't know it, because you don't bother most of the time. Oh, sorry. In 2006, from 2006 to 2012, we had 1,932 public out-of-hospital cardiac arrests in Stockholm. That is, on public locations, outside hospitals, outside people's homes. It's not quite a lot if you compare to the rest of the world, but it's almost 2,000 dead guys. On the same time, we have had almost 750 defibrillators located out in public venues, hotels, sports arenas, shopping malls, whatever. All these little yellow circles is a 300-meter radius around cardiac arrests. Because we found, if I can get this thing working, 38% of the 1,900 cardiac arrests were within 300 meters of an AED, a defibrillator. The solution to the cardiac arrest, the electrocutor of the not functioning heart. For these 7 years, 50 defibrillators were used out of 750. In all, 1,900 cardiac arrests, there is an overall survival of 7%. Of these 50 cases, the survival was 70%. But only if you know there is something that you can use, and only if you know that you're really needed. So, okay, we have one smart idea, and we have a non-functional pointer. And we have lots and lots of defibrillators out in the field. And I would really like to show you the next slide. Oh. I can point anywhere. Oh well. It's not working. But the thing is, what we really want to do is link together this text message service with the map type thing of the AEDs. We want to know where not only the skilled guy with the determination of trying to sort of give something back to the society. I took a course of cardiopulmonary resuscitation, so I know how to help someone else, but I also need to know where the thing is, the tech business. This is something that you can sell and buy and make money on. It's kind of costly, and it's spreading. And people put it up. It's good. It's good for the company. It's good for the hotel to show that we bought a defibrillator, put it up in the lobby. But no one's going to use it unless we sort of link together the guy with the skills, the guy with the determination, and the product. And as I started off, we're using a sort of low-tech solution. We're using the map link for a smartphone user. But still, we can always be in our program getting a text message using any old phone. Because we don't want your platform, we want your skill. I want my mother to be in. She's an old nurse, she's retired now. She knows a lot about life-saving techniques, but she cannot use a smartphone. So it would be kind of rude to leave her out, because she could help you. And this is something that we can perhaps think about hacking this weekend. It's always cool to be sort of fringing. It's cool to be out there. But how about the guys we leave out? How about the 99% that we started off with? We should make technology available, of course, but sometimes it could be backwards compatible in some ways. And it's really great to be here. It's good to have an opportunity to meet up with, well, cool guys, because I'm not that cool. But it's nice to have an opportunity to sort of give back to you. I guess it's going to be great for you this weekend, and it's going to leave off with great ideas. And I hope something of that will give back to healthcare, or to the community, or to the little guy. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry. Don't take it off that quick.
Thank you, David. I think this solution is very interesting. I mean, you have pretty much low tech in using SMS and doing a great service. How many lives have you saved? Do you know?
We don't know. But so far we sent out... Oh, it got louder. We sent out alerts of 2,570 suspected cardiac arrests so far. And that is for, well, 3 years now. So we're going to do this is a part of a scientific research We have a PhD student going to sort of count it, and I guess it's going to show that we saved a few lives. But the thing is, trying to save cardiac arrest is kind of tough, because death is there, and it's 100% certainty if you don't do anything. So what we're trying to focus on is not the saved life, but it's the percentage of cases where someone tried to do something before the ambulance arrives, because we know that early life-saving attempts saves more lives. But it's hard to measure the saved lives, because it depends on what you do in hospital, what the ambulance crew does, and all these things. So we measure something else, and that is early cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and we know that those figures are going up.
Okay. This is rolled out in Stockholm, right?
Yeah.
Is it anywhere else in Sweden or in the world?
Well, we've lots of interest from Sweden, of course, and also from international parts. But everyone is sort of waiting for, okay, good idea. Show us the results, and it's going to be, I guess, finished in autumn after summer.
Okay.
We hope so.
Great. Thank you very much. Any questions for David?
Actually, the same model I have designed in last year for my academic project, which is like two models. Like one, if a person came to a new country or new place and he wants a doctor like that, so that he can find the doctor's list like that.
Yeah.
And another one is that if there was an accident like that, so he can just send a message and he can get a reply within a minute that your ambulance will be coming.
Yep.
And if a person was located in the nearer area, the message will be also going to him. So there I have used only a text message.
That's cool.
Then no smartphones, nothing.
It's great.
Yes, yeah.
Because I guess it's not a secret. Smartphones sort of a Swedish Western world thing. There's a lot of more old cell phones out there in developing countries. So if you want to do something really good, try to focus not only on smartphone technology this weekend, try to focus on GSM technology. It's still out there.
And you are seeing for which only for normal phones and also smartphones, or just like?
Well, we're trying to shift to a smartphone application as well, because we know that precision, speed, and economy is gaining with GPS location. It's faster, it's more accurate, and it's cheap.
Okay.
So with that, I guess it's called expertise, as the speaker before us told us. So yeah, we'd like to incorporate those things.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any more question for? Oh.
Hello. I'm kind of curious to know how are you recruiting the volunteers?
Mouth to mouth.
Mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
we bought some ads in the beginning. The question was how do we recruit? Do everyone hear it? It's just me not hearing it, standing behind the speakers. Well, we made some newspaper ads, but it's too expensive, and we're sort of paid by funding. We don't get that much. So we started working with the guys giving a CPR class. We said, okay, please tell your students they can join us. It's a chance of them getting bit bigger chance to get their skills used. And that works really great. We have almost 8,700 volunteers now in Stockholm.
that's a good number.
Yeah.
Probably we can. I can speak to you later about some suggestions on how you can
Yeah, sure.
increase your volunteers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did I make the time?
I think you did.
Right.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, great.